Welcome everyone to another edition of Willow's Weather Briefing. Today is Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. Today we have a risk of severe thunderstorms for portions of the southern plains near the Rio Grande. We also have a slight risk of excessive rainfall over portions of Central Appalachia, southeast, and Texas. We also have the heat finally subsiding here in southern Texas, but the heat will remain for a few more days here in the Florida Peninsula. And finally, we have above average temperatures for much of the West and New England today. Tomorrow, we have a slight risk of severe thunderstorms in portions of the southern high plains. We also have excessive rainfall continuing for much of the eastern United States, particularly in areas in the southeast. We also have heat starting to build late this week into portions of the Central California Valley and also the Mojave Basin. So here's our satellite right now. We have a cluster of thunderstorms working its way eastward, particularly in eastern Texas and portions of the southeast. Gloomy weather for much of the Midwestern United States. Northeast looking nice and warm today, and also the northern and central plains looking cool, but fair weather. Portions of the west, warm and clear for today. So here's yesterday's storm reports. For some reason, it's bugging out on me. I don't know what's going on. But as you can see, significant hail reports here in southern Texas. Ginormous hail, probably up to 5 inches in some places. Swath of wind here in the southeast associated with the mesoscale convective system. But generally, in the enhanced risk over here in central Texas, it was basically a hail show with some spotty tornadoes here and there. Here's our drought map. We have solid lines demarcating the areas that is of greatest concern with the drought. Here are our current watches and warnings. Right now, we have a flood advisory or flood watch in areas such as far eastern Texas to northern Louisiana and also to the lower Mississippi River Valley. Severe thunderstorm watch over here in southern Mississippi, eastern Louisiana with some severe thunderstorm warnings. Continuation of flood warnings over here in the River Valley regions of eastern Oklahoma. Patchiness over here in the Mid-South to Ozark regions. And also, we begin the excessive heat watches here in the Central Valley and Mojave Basin here. We expect temperatures well above 100 degrees in these regions for at least 2 days, Friday and Saturday. Here's our current surface map. We have the lingering stationary front over here. It's trying to shunt its way south thanks to this high pressure. Because of the lack of low pressure responses, lack of upper level flow to support any low-level surface responses, stationary front is kind of parked here and will sweep its way southeast. This is, of course, causing our severe weather threat and flooding threats. Tomorrow, a dominant low-pressure system is forecasted, finally sweeping this area away. And still, we have a severe thunderstorm risk in the southern high plains because of our semi-permanent dry line pretty much situated right here. And finally, on day 3, Thursday, we have a continuation of that cold front trying to make its way south, but perhaps we'll start to fight again with the continuous meager low-level responses over here, trying to fight the warm air back north over here. Here's our excessive rainfall forecast, patchiness of slight risks over here. Here in Appalachia, we expect about 2-inch plus totals and widespread totals up to over 1 inch over here. In this southeast region, we expect patchy 2-inch plus totals, or widespread areas of 2-inch plus totals, and possibly 6-inch plus totals overnight in the mid-Atlantic regions over here of South Carolina and North Carolina. Over here in Texas, co-located with our severe risk for today, we expect 2 to 4 plus inches around the Rio Grande. Tomorrow, widespread marginal risk, particularly in the southeast and along that dry line up here. Day 3, slight risk of excessive rainfall in portions of the southeast. We expect 2 to 4 plus inches of rain there. Marginal risk for day 4 Friday over here in the east. And day 5, no probabilities, at least right now. So here's our day 1 convective outlook. Slight risk over the southeastern United States and also along the Rio Grande in the southern plains. Tornado risk, not that great with this bimodal system, but wind risk definitely, and especially hail risk for the southern plains. Expect large to giant hail in cities like Laredo, Midland-Odessa, San Angelo, and Del Rio, Texas. On day 2, we just have a slight risk of severe thunderstorms in the southern high plains over here along that dry line. This is particularly for, again, wind and hail. Cities like Roswell, Clovis, Hobbs, Carlsbad, New Mexico. Day 3, marginal risk along that dry line and also in the southeast. And on day 4, we actually have a slight risk of severe thunderstorms along here in the Piedmont region of the east. This is, again, particularly for large hail and damaging winds. So looking at our heat right now, southern Texas subsiding in heat finally after 2+ weeks of excessive heat down there. Florida remains, especially in the urban areas where you get less heat relief overnight due to the urban heat island effects. But that will eventually subside by late week. By Friday, you see big heat build in by a ginormous ridge that's building over the west. Widespread temperatures above 100 degrees, in some places well above 100 degrees, approaching the mid to high hundreds. And that will continue on Saturday as well. But by the weekend, heat should already subside in the west and possibly migrate to portions eastward, such as the Great Basin, the Idaho Valley down here, and also portions of the northern Great Plains. Other than that, we do expect a return to relative normalcy across the United States by early next week. Here's our extended range hazards. Of course, flooding. This is valid May 29th to June 2nd. Flooding across the portions of the southeast and also excessive heat across the Central California Valley and through the Mojave Basin down here. Here's our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from June 1st to 5th. Above average or near normal for most of the United States. Above average, especially for the northern tier of the United States, up here in the northern plains to northern Great Lakes, and as well as the Florida Peninsula. Not many places below average except Alaska. Mostly near normal for most of the United States. 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook below average for the eastern United States, particularly the Ohio Valley, and above average for areas such as the Great Basin and also the peninsula of Florida. So just quickly looking at our convection for today, we do expect this MCS to migrate, this mesoscale convective system to migrate eastward, causing our initial round of convection for that southeastern slight risk starting at around 10 a.m. and then that will sort of reinvigorate as we get more heating. But that will continue on pretty much all day. And the slight risk down in Texas, we expect convective initiation probably around 2 p.m. and continue on as those convective systems move on southeast overnight. Not many models are expecting a particular congealing or organization of storms, probably due to the lack of bulk shear in the atmosphere. But yesterday, we still saw a congealing of that system because of a low-level jet. Perhaps we could see the same thing, but seeing less of a signal for today and overnight. So we'll watch out downstream in areas like San Antonio. We could see another MCS roll through, but these models are not depicting it as much as we did with yesterday's system. So that is going to do it for today's weather briefing. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And if you have any constructive criticisms, please leave a comment. And of course, if you want any specific information regarding your area, please refer to your local broadcaster, National Weather Service meteorologists. Thank you and have a great day.